Hello, avid readers, book nerds, and casual observers. Welcome to the Read Along brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Anna, and this is our read along of A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin.
Welcome to the finale.
The last week of this book, week 7.
A Magic Steeped in Poison.
Yeah. So, a little bit of housekeeping. The next book for our read along, we don't know yet because we're recording this in advance. So, it'll be in the description of this video for sure.
Ah, okay.
But we don't know right this second.
I forgot that we were ahead now.
Yeah.
On our recording schedule, and so I was excited to know.
Sorry.
Now I'm sad that I don't get to know.
I don't even think we have any votes yet. Let me look.
Oh.
I just posted. Don't give them crap. I just posted the
okay.
thing. Yeah, we don't.
Well,
have,
in that case,
we don't have any votes yet.
Anna.
That's fair. I'll accept that.
Shame on you.
But
okay. Well, soon we'll know.
We'll know. But if you're hearing this, you missed a chance to vote on this next read along.
Yeah.
But
you fool.
You should still become a member of our Patreon so that you can vote on the next one.
And the top tier gets you bonus episodes every month.
And they're kind of fun.
Yeah.
Actually, they're quite fun, if I'm being honest. Anyway, let's talk about the ending of this book. Joseph, how are you feeling?
I'm outraged.
Yeah.
I am.
Before we even hit record, he was like, Anna. This ending.
But it was I'm still happy with it. It was still it was still fun to read.
Yes.
But I will say I was outraged also just by the circumstance that the character was put in, and just how it just blows my mind how people can just backstab and feel no regret whatsoever. I'm just too nice of a person. But it's you're gonna get to know this person and pretend to be their friend and be an ally to them, and then just literally try to get them executed. You are the devil.
Yeah, things escalated so quickly.
Yeah, once that last challenge was over, it was just domino effect of just misfortune and terrible frame jobs and man, crazy. It went off the rails.
So this is what we know. We know that Stuart Young, not a bad guy.
No.
Super legit good guy.
She was chill. We were right about the Chancellor being sus.
Yeah.
In fact, he is the guy. He's he is in league with the Banished Prince.
Well, and the governor of her region also showed up and was also awful. And
he is also in league with the Banished Prince, for sure. Because he was with the soldiers that were from there. Man. The Marquis got killed by poison, as well as the previous court, Shunong Su. And they tried to frame it on Ning because she was just in the kitchens. And I was so mad when the guy, after the contest and everything, her and Kang had this moment of regret, and they're they have this magical bond one more time, and there's regret there, and it's sad, but he still wins and he does it. And then this guy comes in and he's just oh, they've already got a relationship. This is not fair. It's traitorous. Also, her dad is this guy. I did research into her, and she's not a real Shunong 2. She didn't actually train for that. And it's just if I could summon lightning, I would strike you now.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Shut up! And even the princess is trying so hard to swing it because she's on Ning's side. And
Yeah.
Oh
But it's
man,
like
poor girl.
impossible.
Ugh.
Okay. Who was the. Sorry, I just bumped a bunch of stuff on my desk.
Oh, you're fine.
Mingwin.
Oh yeah, the
Who
the
was
kitchen
Mingwin?
worker.
Yeah.
I would need to go back and look again. I think she was
Okay.
just another worker that was in the kitchen that we knew of before.
Okay.
Didn't have a huge role, but yeah, she her family got threatened and she has children, so it's like I can't even be mad at her.
I
I
know. I
mean,
feel bad for her because you can tell she's just riddled with guilt. But oh
and
my
also
gosh,
she is literally going to get beat to death.
yeah, she is. Yeah.
So I really do just feel bad for her. Also for oh my gosh, the word just escaped my mind.
Stuart Young.
Yes, steward is the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Like it's not chancellor, it's not marquis, it's the other one. It's the
Yeah.
other title.
Yeah. Stewart
Steward.
Young and her entire family are being sent to some kind of mine.
Well, no, she got sentenced to hang. She's gonna
Oh, you're right.
if they don't find a way to prevent that, she's gonna just get executed.
Right. But her whole family is being banished, basically.
Yeah. Don't know about Small Woo. Don't know what's happening with him or his husband. But it was really cute to see like the oh well, maybe cute's not the right word. It was very heartwarming to see the kitchen staff get so protective of Ning
Yeah.
because those are like her people, you know. Those are the
Yeah.
people she actually fits in with and connected with
Yeah.
while she was here. So that was really sweet to see them get super protective of her, even though it didn't work at all.
Yeah. When Yi, so right after the competition, right after Kang fails the fight with the tiger, that was in this section. When Yi reveals that he intentionally weakened Kang. That was poison.
Right.
Just intentionally weakened him because he cannot support the banished prince's son in any way. And you know what? Wen Yi, we kind of knew he was a good one because of like how he helped the Ning earlier.
Yeah.
But I was sad when
Yeah.
Ning ends up in the dungeon with him and he's in like the worst shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That was very sad.
ends up succumbing to his injuries.
Because like his instinct to not trust anything related to the banished prince is like a good instinct to have. It's just unfortunately Kang is like one of the good ones, we think.
So is Kang one of the good ones? Can we still think that?
I think so. I think that I'm confused about what he is going to do next because I feel like he really was trying to help the princess, and I think that them getting engaged really was him trying to help. Uh, but then all this stuff happened. The princess flees. Now what's he gonna do? I think now he's kind of forced to play the role of the dutiful son, who was doing everything to help his dad. You know, even though I don't think that's true.
You think he was just unaware?
I don't think he was aware of like all the chancellor shenanigans and like all that stuff. No, I don't think so. I feel like he's. I still think that he is a good guy, but
Okay.
he's just in a very bad situation.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
That's my hope.
Yeah,
But-
and like at the end, they saw him when they were trying to flee, and he didn't rat them out. So
That's true.
I think if he really were on his dad's side, he would surely have pointed them out and wanted at least the princess dead.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah. As far as we know, Leanne is safe and also good.
Yeah, because
As
she
far
was
as I know.
helping Ruyi recover
Mm-hmm.
and helped give her a super potion tea
Mm-hmm.
to get back and save the princess. Which was I'm really glad that Ruyi's not dead because I was scared for a second that like the Chancellor had orchestrated her murder
Uh-huh.
behind the scenes,
It seemed
and that was going to
likely.
make me that was going to make me a real sad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's not the case.
We also had the big reveal that Ning's sister, Chu, had kind of figured out the antidote, or at least a pretty big portion of it, and she had embroidered it on the handkerchief that their father sent to Ning. So while they're on their voyage fleeing, Ning figures the pieces out. The last couple of pieces. It was very clever. And she gets to go home, and so we had like no resolution on the like what's going to happen to the empire,
The kingdom,
the kingdom. But we did get some resolution for Chu at least.
Yes, she was like the original. That's why to me it was still a satisfying ending, even though it was definitely a huge cliffhanger. Like there's so many loose ends, so many characters that I care about that I want to know what happened to them and make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
But the original mission was fulfilled
Yes.
of
Yeah.
finding a way to cure her sister. And we also get some closure as to like who even poisoned the tea brick in the first place.
This is
You
true.
know, so we got some closure on like the initial things, but it's just a huge cliffhanger on like all of the different drama that got unearthed as the story went along.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I'm excited for this awesome like girl boss group that we have assembled now
It's
of like
true.
the princess and Ruyi and Ning and Leanne. Hopefully she can come back.
Yeah.
And I think that they will be a really cool team
I agree.
to follow.
I agree. Well, the whole book, I mean, I suppose we're assuming that Ning will recover from saving her sister.
Oh, right, because that was spooky.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that last part of her saving her sister from the poison. What are your thoughts on that craziness?
Well, I'm concerned that she's poisoned now because the snake bit her
Right, and she blacks out.
and she blacks out.
I am hopeful though, because was actually a Shudong too,
That's true.
and had pieced together the antidote.
So they're just gonna keep going back and forth of, I'll give you the antidote. Now I'll give you the antidote.
Yeah.
I'll give you the antidote.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you the antidote.
for sure. Just never-ending cycle.
And their poor dad is just like, oh my gosh, my kids.
And the creepy snake
Ugh.
just gets tired of them and leaves after 20 times of them going back and forth. But yeah, I want to talk about the creepy snake. What did you think about the creepy snake? Because what I thought that it was going to be kind of the same as before. I thought that some monster was going to pop out in the real world and someone's going to have to cut some heads off of some freaky deaky snakes. But not so much. But this was, I think, creepier. I found it creepier. But what did you think of the snake?
Well, give me a hot second here to refresh. I literally just listened to this on the way home, but give me just a hot second here.
The snake recognizing her, and because basically it seemed to me that the poison is sentient.
Yeah.
Like before, I thought that the three-headed snake thing was just kind of like a mindless monster type situation, where it was like the embodiment of the poison, but it was still like just kind of a monster. It wasn't like a highly intelligent being. But in this, she goes to save her sister from the poison, and the creepy snake is there, and the snake says, "You," and it recognizes her. "I've seen you before in the palace," and it's that's so creepy. And basically, it's hinted at that this is like a malevolent entity
Yeah, because it goes on to say that it's because this poison was created by something else entirely, something ancient and waiting, biding its time. Shinong it snarls, revealing its sharp fangs. It hates Shinong and all his followers. It despises the old gods and all humankind, everything they represent.
Yeah.
So is this just the Banished Prince like, attempting to, like, manipulate something that already exists for his own purposes? I mean, that sounds like a clear way for things to go out of control very quickly.
Yeah. So what I was thinking when I was reading this was, besides like the first reaction of just like, hello, Satan, with this creepy snake that's talking and is like this ancient evil entity that hates Shinong and all humanity and wants everyone to die. I'm just like, okay, so you're some kind of evil god or something. But then I was like, okay, but how does that tie in with the poison bricks and like all of this stuff?
So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of, this is funny because on our bonus episode for last month, we talked about Ungoliant and the Silmarillion and how Morgoth kind of commissions her. It kind of feels like that. Like the Banished Prince is Morgoth and he's commissioned this ancient thing
Yeah.
to do some of his dirty work. And I have a suspicion that it will continue to devour beyond the Banished Prince's original aim.
Yeah. In my mind, the way that I see this having played out is he tries to overthrow the empire and make himself emperor, fails, gets banished, becomes the Banished Prince. He tries other means of getting the empire, such as like making a deal with this creepy poison god thing, in order to try to overthrow the current government and put himself on the throne again. This is why Ning's mom didn't detect the poison at first, because it was this creepy anti-Shinong deity that like created the poison.
Not just why Ning's mom didn't detect it, that's why nobody detected it.
Yeah. That's how this poison's able to just kill people with a room full of trained people in Shinong. Like, nobody detects this stuff. But Ning did see a serpent that night when her mom got poisoned, but she didn't do anything because...
I'm saying, I think Ning's got extra stuff still, and we just don't know what it is.
For sure, yeah. There's definitely something weird going on with her. We didn't really get any more dramatic revelations about Ning's past,
No.
or like her parentage, or like her mom or anything.
No.
These last sections were very much just focused on like diabolical plots and high action,
Yes.
which is fine. But yeah, that snake thing was so creepy.
Very
But
creepy.
man, yeah, then she gets bit. And the title of the next book is
A Venom Dark and Sweet.
Yeah. So I mean, it fits.
It does.
Is what I'm getting at.
It does. Yeah. So overall thoughts. How are you ranking this one?
I liked it quite a bit.
You're not a huge YA reader, so like, how did that impact your
Yeah,
reading?
I mean, it was a little nostalgic.
Yeah.
Going back to like a YA book, because I mean, yeah, there are tropes in YA that you can identify, and they're tropes for a reason, because they're popular. So like you can see some things coming, which is fine, but no, it was nostalgic. I would still rate this well. What are your overall thoughts? You read more YA than me.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning was a little bumpy, but I think that was a me issue.
Same, 100%. I think it was a language barrier thing where I'm used to seeing like Western fantasy names for things, but I'm not used to seeing Eastern fantasy names for things.
Right.
So that was a learning curve, but
Yes.
I got there.
Yeah. So I'm going to take
yeah.
the onus on that, though. Like, I'm not going to put that on the book, and I'm not going to put it on
Right, same.
the narration either, because I don't think it was
Same.
them. I think that was totally an us thing. But yeah, I would rank this very high. I like the YA tropes. I didn't feel like were overbearing. Like they weren't so like overt.
Yeah.
You could see him a mile away, you know?
The only one that I was like, oh, dramatic eye roll was in the spring when King
Yeah.
like takes off his armor and his shirt and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That was the only time though. It was just kind of a
Which is pretty minor, all things
no,
considered.
it was, but it was definitely like a fan servicey moment of like,
Yes.
okay, all the Kang shippers, you're welcome.
Yeah.
We got shirtless Kang.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rank it fairly high too, I think. Do we normally do this out of 5 stars or do it out of 10?
We normally do it out of 5, kind of like a Goodreads situation.
Okay. I would do like a 4.5, I think. Like comparing it to other books in its genre and like subcategories, I think it ranks very high. And I think the fact that it's a debut novel is really impressive.
I agree that this doesn't feel like a debut novel, especially because we talked about this before we started recording. Should have saved it, but I'll say it now. I was like reading it and I'm like, surely this is her debut novel. Surely it's like I was expecting it to be kind of the way this normally goes, right? Where the first book you can kind of treat it as a standalone and tie a bow on it and treat it like it's its own thing, but then like leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room to continue on if you do well and your publisher's like, hey, write more books. But no, in this one, she was just like, no, cliffhanger.
So the only thing I can think is that when she was like submitting this story, she submitted it as a duology.
Okay.
Like, and that was part of the process. Because I don't know how she could away with this kind of ending without for sure knowing that she was getting a second book before it hit
as a debut novel. Yeah. I feel like she would have to know that she was getting another one.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's possible if she originally wrote it all as one and then they said we're going to put this out as YA, so it needs to be because YA fantasy is typically half as long as adult fantasy books are.
Yeah, I could see that being the case.
I don't know. I mean, this is speculation on my part, but
yeah. Because I could see if this were a big chunky fantasy, like high fantasy novel, I could see that being a break and it's like end of part 1 and then you turn the page and it's like part 2 and then you continue, you know?
Yep.
Because that's the kind of the way some of those bigger, like Stormlight Archive books have like 4 or 5 parts in them.
Sure.
But,
and they're beasts. They're bricks.
Yeah. But so you said 4.5.
Yeah, I think so.
Out of 5. I think I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
Okay.
Just because first person isn't my favorite, and it's like a total opinion thing. It's not, but I still really liked it. Obviously 4 is still a good score. And I do want to read the next one.
Yeah. Facts.
So like that's gonna happen eventually, whether it's a read along or not. I will read the next one.
Yeah. Fair.
So Judy I. Lin, you succeeded.
I mean, she did.
Gone hooked me.
It's an excellent novel. One that I will be recommending for sure to people.
And it is a refreshing break to have a story that's not a Western fantasy story, you know, with roots in other cultures, not just, Eurocentric type situations.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's like our bread and butter, what we were raised on, what we enjoy. Maybe, I mean, you could probably say most, but it's a refreshing change of pace. So.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value in, like, if you have a favorite genre, like we do, I think there's a lot of value in reading, like, other parts of that genre that maybe get overlooked. Like, for us, it's Eastern fantasies. But even there's African-centric fantasies too that I think that we should also consider delving into, and even South American.
Indian.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot more than the Eurocentric fantasy world. So
there was one on your list from last time that was more of like a Native American type,
Yeah.
or like Indigenous
Yeah,
American.
a lot so.
Yeah. So yeah, I would enjoy going down other paths.
Yeah. So I think I'm
Um,
probably going to continue on that kind of journey of trying
sure.
to curate our read-alongs to be a little more diverse in that way. So
And I will pick the obvious popular ones, and you and you can have the more obscure, diverse ones.
no, I mean you're also picking ones that I hadn't ever thought of. So I think it's good to have balance. So
Okay, good.
for sure, I have enjoyed all the books we've read so far.
Yes, yeah, I would agree.
So
There were some that were more challenging than others.
yeah, like the blade itself was hard for me, but more because it
Hmm.
was much grittier than what I normally pick for
Right.
myself.
Um,
But I still enjoyed
Light
it.
of Light of the Midnight Stars was very, very different.
But
Um,
diverse. I was intentional.
but diverse. But I really, really liked the Magic Steeped in Poison. The magic system, it gets points for the magic system for me because it's still like a soft magic system. Like we don't know a lot of the rules about it. And they do kind of have the ability to just pull ingredients out and have them do whatever they need to do in the moment, which
Yeah.
is fine. You know,
Yeah.
I don't dislike soft magic systems like that, but I love the elegance of it and like the aesthetics of it
Sure.
is very appealing.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it's soft magic system for you and I because we don't know what they do, but like they obviously know. So it's a
right,
hard magic system for them, but it's soft for us, which is kind of a
because we
sweet
just
spot.
we don't know everything about it, so
Right.
it seems
Right.
yeah
But there's like a give and take too. Like it's not just free magic.
true. Like there's consequences for and there's like a bunch of different branches of it. Like Leanne's type of Shinong is like very specific towards like body. Uh, what's the word? Amplification.
Yes.
I don't know. Strengthening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's very very interesting. That snake is dang creepy. I'm
Agreed.
wigged out by the snake, and I want to see what happens with that. I want to see what Kang is going to do about all this. I want to see the girl boss troop. So, and maybe Shu will be a part of it too because she's cured now.
I was literally just thinking that.
I almost forgot about Shu. But yeah,
She's a smart cookie too.
yeah, she's trained. She was training with her, with their mom.
Yeah.
They have a little band of misfits forming, which I love. I love that trope.
I know you do. So do I.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised if the sequel ended up on a list for us at some point.
I have no doubts it'll be on your next list.
It will be.
I'm
sure.
100% certain. Yeah.
That doesn't mean it'll be the one that gets picked. But
Did you have any critiques of it? Anything that you would have maybe liked to have seen that didn't happen?
I think it would have been more of a betrayal if the maidservant, whose name I have totally blanked on now.
Starts with an M.
Yeah.
Mingwen something?
Yes. If she had been maybe just a little more prevalent, not a lot, just a little more.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to be like, wait, who are you again?
Yeah, because I totally forgot about her.
If they had made it small Wu and it's like he threatened my husband,
Yeah.
that would have, I think, had a much bigger impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
But
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, some of the, again, it's YA, so maybe this is just not something that you can do as much, but some of the tropes were, like, some of the things were predictable, like the Marquis being a red herring,
Yeah.
the suspicion towards the Chancellor. If there was maybe some kind of way to subvert that or make it less obvious, I do wish that the poisoning at the banquet hadn't happened off screen.
Oh.
I wish that we could have seen somehow. But I mean, Ning's the POV character and she wasn't there for it, so like I understand how that didn't work. But I I don't know. For some reason I'm like conditioned by modern media to where like if I didn't see it happen, I don't
Yeah.
think the Marquis is really dead. I don't think the other guy's really dead. Like it's hard for me to believe it if I didn't see it happen because I feel like in a lot of modern media there's so many fake outs, you know.
Well,
Um,
that's fair because they also said that Rui was dead and she obviously is not.
right. So I do wish we could have seen the. I mean, maybe this is a device for later, and she's like, "No, you don't get to see the banquet because they're not really dead." But that's a lot of death fake outs.
Yeah.
Um, but I do wish we could have seen the banquet scene with the poisoning and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I also just kind of wanted to see the pompous, smug guy that won the competition panic for a second. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see him sweat.
Yeah.
And maybe I wanted to see the Marquis writhe around a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, okay. What did you think of the banished prince knowing the names of all of his soldiers? And do you think the princess could have done the same?
that's an interesting thought. No, there's no way the princess could do the
No.
same. I don't think there's any way she knows the names of all of her soldiers.
No.
The banished prince strikes me as a very charismatic individual
Uh-huh.
who is very. He's probably very manipulative, but he has a way with people, and he has this way of like winning you over with those small gestures, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
like knowing all of his soldiers' names, drinking with them,
Mm-hmm.
kind of lowering himself. But he does this in my mind. This is kind of how I picture him because we've only seen him in like one scene, granted, but he strikes me as a type of person that does those things as a tool to win you over.
Yeah.
He still thinks that he is superior to you, and like he commands respect. He expects respect
Mm-hmm.
and obedience, but he has these moments of like lowering himself to like mingling with you, knowing your name, drinking with you, to
Yeah.
keep you under his thumb.
Yeah.
Basically, is how
Yeah.
I picture it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Interesting.
mhm.
I think I was seeing it as more of a. It's funny. Sorry, my thoughts are kind of going all over the place. I feel, as Americans, find
Where you
ourselves kind of pushing against the big man, right? Like, and in this scenario, the princess is the man, right?
yeah,
She's the big boss
yeah,
man. And we have kind of we have an interesting perspective of fighting for the rebellion, right?
hmm
So it's interesting to have the rebellion actually be a legitimate coup situation. Do you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Am I articulating that
Yeah,
well?
no, I understand what you mean. Another way that you could phrase it is like we love an underdog.
Yeah.
The banished prince, like the underdog versus the establishment,
Yes.
is kind
Thank you.
of
I was having a hard time finding the word establishment. So thank you.
yeah, because the banished prince, he tried it before, failed, got kicked out. He's licking his wounds. Now he's coming back for round two, and he's doing really well. And I feel like the first attempt is probably a little more military oriented, and this one is much more like underhanded scheme type. Like he's trying a different approach with it, especially with the help of this creepy poison deity. Um, eh. but yeah, I think that it's it's interesting when you see a villain that is a likable person. You know, like
Yeah.
he has a likable aura and a personality that is attractive. Um, it's always fascinating when you can see a villain like that.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to get more scenes with him.
Me too.
Even though, well, it basically just depends on how much Ning interacts with him because she's the POV character in his first person.
Right.
So
I guess assuming she's the POV character in the second one. I guess we don't know.
that's true. Wouldn't that be interesting if we got a little switcheroo? There you go. If you could change the POV character in the second book, who would you like to see be the POV character in the second book?
I think Kong.
He's a top pick for sure. Mm-hmm. That would be fascinating. I would love for Judy Eileen to pull a Twilight on this and just to rewrite these from his perspective.
Oh, yeah.
So we get like an entirely different set of books of the same events, just from his perspective in his mind. That would be very fascinating.
That would be fascinating. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe it switches to Shu.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because let's say hypothetically Ning is like knocked out of the next book, not killed, but she's like incapacitated, and you have to follow a different character. I think that Shu would be good. King would be good, but then he's still he's far away from the main action, of like the princess and everything. Maybe the princess.
I mean, I have the book. Would you like me to grab it?
Well, I'm sure Ning is the POV character, but I was just curious.
Well, chapter 1 is called Kong.
Whoa. Maybe she
alternates.
switches. I was going to say, I bet it switches POVs.
Yep.
Because he's way too far away from the princess and Ning.
But we need to know what's happening where he is.
Exactly. So that makes a lot of sense that it goes back and forth between Kong and Ning, I'm assuming.
Yes.
But
I don't know if there's any others, but those are the two that I saw right away.
Cool.
Yeah.
I support this.
Yeah. I guess my only other critique would be that Ning has just a smidge of a Mary Sue effect happening. And that doesn't have any like formal training in Shenong, but she is very, very good at it. Which, if we knew what her deal was, I think I would not count it as a critique.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I'm really hesitant to use the word Mary Sue because I feel like it's overused by a lot of people and like unjustly used against a lot of female characters. But you make a valid point in that she wasn't like she was training with her dad, the physician, but she manages to make it to like the last step of this contest with like all the best Shenong 2s in the Empire.
Yeah.
Seems unlikely. But she definitely has something weird going on.
Yeah, nothing else about her is Mary Sue-ish at all. So that's why I said just like the teeniest little tidbit of it.
Certainly not like with her like relationships or like the things she says to people. Yeah. She's not a perfect, she's a flawed character.
Absolutely. Which is great.
Yeah, which is good. No one's perfect. But no, she is a little too good at the whole Shenong thing. I agree.
But I think if we knew what her deal was, that wouldn't bother me. And it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Because I believe that there's something else going on.
If she is if this is like a chosen one trope, so be it,
Right.
Like, but we don't know if that's what it is the problem. It just seems random.
Right.
If she's like blessed by the gods or something, we'll see.
She's actually the moon.
My girlfriend turned into the moon. That's rough, buddy. Speaking of the moon, there was also another magic system that was introduced in the end there with the astrologer people.
That's true.
Astrologer, the I don't know, stargazer. I forget the word they used. But so there's like multiple magic systems. Shenong isn't the only magic around, so that's interesting. We hadn't really heard that at all until this last section.
Right.
So
right, it's true.
Curious to see what other things happen with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But yeah, I like the book a lot. It was a good pick.
Thank you.
Good call.
Thanks, y'all, for voting for it, too.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll be in touch soon with what the winner of the next read-along is.
It'll be in the description. We'll know when this comes out. It'll be in the description of this video. We just don't know it at the time of recording this episode.
Right. Check the description. Check our social media stuff, Twitter, whatever. It'll be around, and we'll announce it on like a regular podcast episode too. Like it will be on an actual episode. So anyway, I guess until next time, go drink some tea.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Later.
Bye.